Hi everyone, welcome back to TILLY. Today we are talking about lupus nephritis, and I have a really special guest that I want to introduce you to, a friend of mine that I met years ago in Florida. Her name is Lynn Hernandez, and she's going to share a little bit about her story with us. So Lynn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Marixa.
Absolutely. So I've been following you for a while, and I want to introduce everyone to you. So if you could just quickly tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do, and then maybe just give us a little bit of information about how you actually found out that you had lupus.
Okay, I live in Miami, South Florida, here where, it's a little bit difficult because of the sun. I am a mom of three, and I don't work. I'm a stay-home mom, because of lupus. It limits me from doing anything else practically. I'm married for 15 years now, and I got diagnosed in 2015. I went to the emergency room with a pain on my stomach, and from there they told me my spleen was 22 inches, and it was creating a whole bunch of blood clots. And from there, long story short, after 3 months being in the hospital, they removed it, and they told me I would have to need blood thinners for the rest of my life, according to the doctors. A little bit after that is when I got diagnosed. I'll say like maybe 2 months is when I got diagnosed with lupus. Now, in my mind, in that moment, lupus sounded so much better than cancer, which is what they thought I had, and everything else that they thought that I had. So in my mind, I had no idea what was lupus when the doctor diagnosed me. I had no idea. He, let me know certain things and behaviors that are gonna happen in my body. And in that moment, I did not understand when he said, get away from stress, get away from the sun, things like that. I was raised in the beach. Literally, the beach is my backyard here, So after that, I'll say 8 months, which it was a roller coaster, is when after 8 months, that's when I saw kidney movements. I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and to describe how the pain was, it was very similar to giving birth. I gave birth to my first son with no epidural, and it literally is just like that. It's so painful. In that moment, getting to the hospital, I had no idea that it was a kidney stone, but once we got to the emergency room, and 2 hours later, they told me I have a kidney stone, and I end up, letting it out. My body let it out by itself, After that, religiously, I see my kidney doctor every 3 months, and I get labs for my kidneys religiously every month. The pain is, to describe it, some people describe it, I've noticed when I speak to people that have kidney movements, involvements regarding lupus, they say that it feels like they're stabbing you. To me personally, it's not like that. It feels like they're grabbing my kidney and pulling it to the point that it will leave you without breath. And that's my experience with the kidney involvement.
So lupus nephritis is just one of the things that you deal with. You and I sort of went through, you have, multiple things that lupus attacks or just causes complications with. So for every day, like, what is your life like on a daily basis as far as your symptoms, how you're feeling, your treatments, things like that?
I would say the first 2 years I was under steroids. I can never pronounce that right. But I would say that now I'm not on it. And since I've been out of it, it's just my daily routine is, because I'm so fatigued, it will take me maybe an hour to get out of bed. I mean, it's just religiously every morning. My kids and my husband, they already know how I have my breakfast in bed. Since I got diagnosed, I never eat breakfast in the kitchen or in sitting down in the living room or anything like that. And I'll say I'll be in bed rest depending what was the plan up for the kids on the week. I could be in bed rest 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 days in the week, because I have a 7-year-old, a 10-year-old, and one that's going off to college this year. So, but I'll say that in the beginning it was very frustrating for me because I was a very active mom. I have my kids involved in church activities. And now, my friends and my church family and my family, if I can do it, they get involved. And my kids don't stop having to be involved in their daily routine. But yes, I did have to step back as a mom a lot, and due to, to lupus, it's like a job.
It is a job. It really is like a full-time job. And I just want to say, if you didn't have lupus, just having 3 children is like 3 full-time jobs. So, that's another reason why I'm sure you're obviously tired, in addition to having the complications that you do with the lupus. But I like hearing that you have a very supportive family and your church family. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. You're someone on your Instagram, you're very open about your faith and how, having a strong faith has really helped you get through. I know that you've been in the hospitals, I know that you've had surgeries, and you still have this really strong faith through all of it. Mm-hmm. So if you could just share a little bit about that with our viewers.
Yes, I went through 5 surgeries, 7 procedures, and through all of that, I could have lupus, I could have a list of different diagnosed, but my spirit and my mind is not broken. I had a dear friend of mine that would take me to all my doctor's appointments in the beginning because I couldn't even drive. And he just gave me a reminder and let me know that Jesus took all the sickness to the cross. So therefore, we're automatically healed. So even though we're going through certain pains and certain chronic illness, you cannot allow your spirit and your mind. The battle of the mind is so strong. I've never experienced what I have experienced in my life with lupus. I've never felt the power that you could feel with the Holy Spirit, and it could take you out of the situation that you're in. Because at the end of the day, like I share with a lot of my follower, my lupus warriors, is our time here is this small, it's this limit. But our eternity with Christ is this big. So it depends on you how you want to take the storm and the situation that you're going through here in this earth. And the way I'm going to take it is through the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I also want to have you share, for people that are in the midst of getting diagnosed, or maybe they just found out they have lupus and that they have kidney involvement, or their kidney involvement is severe, maybe they need to start dialysis or multiple treatments. What would your advice be for them as far as like practical tips for every day, whether it's mental health tips, whether it's workarounds and tips in your house to just make things easier, and also how would you encourage them?
Okay, first I will start with the tips is make sure you have a team of doctors that you feel comfortable with. I have been completely blessed in that area. But I have also coached other people that don't feel comfortable in the team, the doctors that they have, and I advise them that to go, there's nothing wrong with you getting a second opinion. And because that, at the end of the day, in my case, my doctor's been with me, my entire team, since the beginning. A lot of them are believers too. So I feel so comfortable speaking about my belief with them. So I believe that because the kidney involvement is extremely painful, okay? I believe that it has to start with your doctor and your nurse and your team when it comes to, the science part of it. You need to feel comfortable what advice they're giving you, what they're telling you, what to do, not to do, In my case, I've always thought that is, maybe eating certain food is going to stop it. My doctor keeps telling me it's not. Lupus is practically, it's like attacking your kidneys. So it does whatever it wants. You know, my doctor explained it to me once like a toddler. He's like, if you leave a toddler in your house right now, we all not gonna guess what exactly that toddler is gonna touch. What is he gonna break? What is he gonna take? You know, if he's gonna hurt himself. So lupus in the kidneys is practically that. It does whatever it wants. But I do control how is he gonna affect me, my spirit, my mind in that moment. My advice also is that if your pain from 1 to 10 passes that 5, go to the hospital. Why? Because most likely you are creating a kidney stone or something else. In my case, I create water, and I also sometimes have blood. So it does not matter if you went to the emergency room 3 times a month. I mean, don't allow somebody to tell you, you know, sometimes friends or family give so much advices and it could affect you. So it's very important for you to know who you want in that circle. In my experience, I have had to take out people out of my circle because they will let me know, don't take that certain pill, but you're taking a pill for a headache for a Tylenol. So right. You have to learn who you allowed in your circle when you're going through, you know, the kidney movements. In my case, my kids and my husband automatically already know when I'm having pain, because the pain usually in the movements is behind your back in the middle, you know, on both. I get them on both sides, but usually more here because I do create blood clots on my liver too. So there's a lot of movements going on. So usually I'm like that. So once I'm starting to do all those things that I'm doing body-wise, you know, my friends and family knows that Lynn is done, you know. And regarding encouraging you is, I would say, get yourself a hobby, get yourself, personally, I suck at technology, and I can't believe I've gone this far with my Instagram. I haven't even opened up Facebook yet. You know, people keep telling me, do TikTok, YouTube videos, because I involve my kids on music, and as you see on my page. But I think that when you involve yourself in certain things, that's like therapy for you, you know? Involve yourself in something that is making you happy. If it's art, if it's whatever it is, if it's just hearing music, but your mind needs to get out of that. You cannot tell yourself the whole entire day, this is happening to me. That is depressing, and you cannot go in that zone, because us with lupus, we could get depressed like this.
That's something that I love about your Instagram, is that you really always look like you're having a good time, even though things might be going south. You really do try to see the positive in it, and I think it's really important that people follow, you know, warriors like you. So for our viewers, let them know what your social media is in case they want to follow you.
Okay, my Instagram right now is Lupus Love Hope. I created it because my older son is the one that helped me pick up the name and teach me what is a DM. I didn't even know what was a DM. So I chose Lupus Love Hope because love, you need to surround yourself with love when you're going through lupus. I have a lot of followers that don't have family, don't have friends, but in the Instagram community, they consider us family and friends, and that's more than enough. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have 20 people in your circle or 1. Okay, and that's why I created love, and hope is because that's the only thing we have to hold on to.
Absolutely.
So it's Lupus Love Hope.
Well, I'm so grateful for you to be here with us today and to share a little bit about your story. So I just want to thank you for that. So definitely follow my buddy Lynn. She's amazing. And I appreciate you coming on for this episode of Tilly, and we can't wait to share your story. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, Marissa. You are amazing. I just want to share that. You inspire me so much. I literally met you like a week after creating my Instagram, and we met physically like a month later. And since then, my whole family knows you. You know, I think you're amazing, and I pray for you and your husband to continue this ministry, because this is amazing.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about you, so I appreciate it.
And now our special guest, Lynn Hernandez, is going to sign off with an incredible message for our Spanish-speaking audience. Don't forget, you can follow her and her uplifting, funny stories on Instagram at Lupus Love Hope.
Hola, mi nombre es Cindy y aquí estamos hablando aquí de Lupus Chicas. Es una comunidad en donde nos estamos uniendo para todos que estamos sufriendo de lupus. Estamos aquí para dejarles saber a ustedes que sí se puede, porque podemos encontrar fuerza por dentro de nosotros que no lo tenemos, principalmente con nuestro Dios y con nuestro Jesucristo y el Espíritu Santo. ¿Por qué digo eso? Porque cuando a mí me dijeron que yo tenía lupus, yo me sentía que era lo peor que me podía pasar. ¿Por qué? Porque yo me sentía que ya yo no podía ser mamá, no podía ser esposa, no podía hacer ciertas cosas. Sí, hay muchas cosas que no podemos hacer, pero sí no podemos permitir que el lupus nos controle nuestra mente y principalmente nuestro espíritu. Solo quiero dejarles saber a ustedes que estamos unidos y en esta comunidad del lupus podemos hacer muchas cosas, principalmente para aquellos que se sientan solos. Los quiero mucho y bendiciones.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of TILLY, the interactive lupus link for you, an episodic series brought to you by the Lupus Foundation of New England. Be sure to stay tuned for next Tuesday's episode at 8 p.m.